ever swim meet tomorrow. Wasn't stressed until today because I was very naive thinking, how hard could it be? It's just one sport, right? Well, wrong. There's a lot. There's a lot to pack. And I have no idea how swim meets work. So I called my friend Julie and she kind of walked me through everything that I need to bring. There is a big learning curve. I am not a traditional swimmer. I never grew up competitive swimming. So I'm racing the 400 meter free, the 200 meter free, the 100 and the 50. So I'm doing all of the possible freestyle options because that's all I know how to do. I don't know how to do backstroke, fly, breaststroke, none of that. So I'm not gonna go into everything that I'm bringing because a lot of it is self-explanatory. You know, the things that you need to swim. So like goggles, swim cap, bathing suit. So I am gonna be bringing 4 towels and that should cover all 4 of my events. So I'll always have a dry towel, and I'm also gonna bring 2 bathing suits just in case I do wanna change in the middle of the day, because my first event is at 8:35 in the morning and my last event is at like 1:15 p.m. And speaking of bathing suits, there will be a lot of people wearing race suits, but you definitely do not need a race suit to join a swim meet. You can just wear your regular bathing suit. So there are multiple heats of people that are even slower than me, and probably a lot of people also doing their first swim meet ever. So if you've never done one before and you're worried you might be maybe on the slower end and you're worried that you might not like fit in, I feel like there is a very wide spread of times going to the swim meet. So I don't know, I wouldn't let that discourage you. If you are like, oh, I'm not really that good, I'm not a swimmer, don't let that discourage you from going to a local swim meet because I have a feeling it's gonna be really fun.
Okay, so we just got to the Pan Am Center. My first event is the 400. That starts at 8:35, and Julie and I are gonna do like a 1K warm up beforehand. Okay, so first of all, very stressful morning. So I did a super quick warm up and then Julie came over and grabbed me out of the pool. She's like, you gotta go, you're going next. So I'm like, okay. So we booked it over to the other pool and then I was waiting to start. And then I got up on the blocks, and when I went to dive in, I dove like really deep because I didn't realize how high the starting blocks were. Yeah, I dove into the water last because I was nervous. I didn't want to false start. I didn't know how to dive. Like everyone was bent over, like holding onto the blocks, and I was just standing there like this. I learned a lot from that one though, the diving specifically, and then also my flip turns were a little rough because I'm not used to flip turning on like a graded material. The event was great. I knew my biggest problem is I know that I always start too fast and I get too excited. So I was really just saying, Erin, this is a long one, it's 400 meters, so you gotta calm yourself. So I tried to take like some nice calm deep breaths while doing the event. My splits I will put up after, but my first 100 meters was much faster than my last three 100 meters.
Is it hard to count?
No. Everything in my being was focused on counting.
Okay.
I was like, if I can do anything, it is going to be, I'm going to count properly.
All right, what was your... Sorry.
I do think though that having someone else in the lane beside me, like I think if I had been in a faster heat, it would have pushed me more because I got pretty complacent and I was like, just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I definitely like wasn't as out of breath as I thought I could have been, so I think I probably could have gone a little bit harder. But
So what do you think? What did you finish with?
5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Nice. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I am happy with that.
Think you could have went faster?
Yeah. but like maybe only by a couple of seconds faster. So the next event is the 100 meter. I'm so excited because I'm just gonna go like absolutely, like I'm just gonna like, cause you don't need to pace it. You just go as hard as you possibly can. So my predicted time that I put in was 1:17, but my 100 meter splits for the 400, the first one was a 1:17. The first 50, I just went as fast as I possibly could. And then the second 50, my quads, of all things, because you'd think it'd be your arms that would give out, but my quads completely cramped. And then for the last 25 meters was just pure survival. Done, complete, we crushed it. My dive was way better this time, not embarrassing. And I got a 110 per 100. So I was really surprised with that. I thought I would do like, I wanted to do a sub 112, and I did. I came in second in my heat at the very last second. Apparently, I was leading for pretty much all of it, and then at the very last second, the other girl in my heat passed me. And she beat me by what, like a couple milliseconds. But hey, whatever, it's all good. I'm happy with my time. So next I'm doing the 50. So this is actually going to be all out. And I think as long as I get a good solid dive and I push off the wall really hard, I think that's what matters a lot in the shorter distance races. It's kind of like triathlon. Like, for example, when you're doing a really short triathlon race, transition is really important, like getting your shoes on quick and stuff like that. And then in the longer distance, it doesn't matter. For a 50-meter race, I think those things like pushing off the wall, doing a good flip turn, like those things will matter. So we'll see how it goes. Predicted time. Oh God, I don't even know. Sub 35 seconds. Okay, so I did the 50 and I went as hard as I possibly could. I could not have gone any harder. And the one trick though is that with the 50, you don't really have to breathe. So I dove in and I didn't breathe until just before the wall. So instead of doing like your regular breathing that you would do in a longer event, I just like didn't breathe and I kept my head down and I just went as hard as I possibly could.
Nice.
And I did it in, I don't know what my time was. 31 seconds, which is like, yeah, I thought I would do sub 35, but 31 seconds is pretty good. Pretty fast. Then I did a 200. And my worst fear happened, which is that I miscounted. So I stopped at 150 meters. I looked up and I saw the counter lady looking at me and she looked confused and I was like, oh no. And I was like, crap. So then I pushed off the wall as hard as I possibly could and then did like a super hard 50. And I still did a 235. And I'm pretty sure, did I still win? Yeah, I still won. But I felt embarrassed because I was like, there are two things that could happen that would be bad. One, my goggles fly off in the dive, and two, I miscount. Successful day, fun, really, really fun.
You would do it again?
I would totally do it again. And like, if anyone ever feels like nervous about doing it, there were a lot of heats where people weren't even flip turning. So like, it's very inclusive and there were so many different heats with so many different speeds and it was very good.